right, so we are live. I was actually going to start out singing that song, Do You Want to Build an AR? I thought about that, but I was like, nah, that's kind of lame. So anyway, welcome to BIGGUNNER81 Live, presented by Applied Arsenal Finishes and Gunworks, also by Spinta Precision. You can check them out at spintaprecision.com. Eggleston Munitions. So anyway, welcome. Someone's got playing in the background. Might be me, I don't know. Happens all the time. Anyway, also, probably forgetting someone now. Also, Trace Armory Group, that's one of our new sponsors that's been helping us out. And I was going to say Eggleston Munitions, but I didn't say that. Kind of get those all in there. So you guys all want to go check those companies out and so forth because they help support what we do here on the channel and whatnot. Now, again, before we get into introducing everybody, just kind of remind everyone, if you're watching this link wherever we post it up on Facebook and wherever, we have this channel set up as a new channel, the BIGGUNNER81 Live channel, because the whole incident with the Bumfire Stock video getting flagged and losing our privileges to do live streaming on our main channel for some time. Hopefully that'll all get cleared up in the next couple months. But for now, we're going to do all our live streams right here on the BIGGUNNER81 Live channel, and then we're going to move the videos, or actually repost the videos over onto the main channel as well. So real quick, going to introduce everybody here we got with us tonight. We got Charles in the house, new gun guy. We're not new to guns, but a new guy on the channel here to hang out with us tonight. So welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
We got Corey in the house from Southern Style Beards.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And I just realized by pulling, good, I hope you're doing well too.
Yeah.
I just realized by pulling up your video, I'm like, oh, I don't have my lower third up. And Joe, our friend Joe Gizzy's in the house as well, Craggy Island. He's got his lower third up.
Yeah. What's going on, Rick? Thanks as always.
Yep. Thanks for joining us. And long time, hasn't been around for a while, Ryan Wiggins. Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
Welcome back.
Good to see you.
Yeah, welcome.
What's up?
We're gonna start out with you because I know you only got a little bit of time because you're actually out at the range right now doing some shooting and stuff. What do you got going on out there?
I'm hosting a practice match out here tonight. I've been doing it about every other week on Tuesday nights for my 3-Gun Nation members. They can come out and get some solid practice in. Tonight I set up what's that?
You guys are doing this in the dark.
We're pretty lit up. I don't know if you can see behind me. Yeah, that doesn't look very good. But that's one of the bays that's not being used right now. I actually had to rent both of the bays because there's a stupid rule here that I can't shoot steel parallel to shooters in the bay next door.
Oh.
Or behind them. So I rent both bays. We set up whatever we want on the other bay.
But
they're shooting at a plate rack right now at about 70 yards and some up close paper. And then they have the option to use pistol or shotgun on 8 targets at the end. So we're just getting some basic practice in, getting ready for the Winter Warzone 2017 head-to-head shoot-off in the end of December.
That sounds like fun.
So
yeah, I still got to get out there one day and shoot at your club. That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Definitely.
That'd be cool.
Honestly, I haven't been shooting 3-gun in some time now. Just with the move and everything in North Carolina, I haven't gotten started back into it again. I miss it. It's a lot of fun. So I know you've been pretty busy with your company that you have. If you want to tell everybody about that a little bit, what you got going on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I started Nitride Systems a couple months ago. Released some bolt carriers. I just introduced a new one, the 2.0. Doing some titanium nitride on the carrier with some carpenter grade steel, and I'm doing the bolts out of 9310 carpenter steel, heat treated with the black nitride finish. We originally did the titanium nitride on the bolts too, but I wasn't happy with them. We had a heat treat problem too. I had to chase that down. I wasn't happy with the way carbon fouling was happening with the titanium nitride on the face of the bolt. So I said, screw it, let's just go to the black stuff. So I got the gold going on, and then I got a 9mm coming out. I can't say too much about yet, but
nice.
It's pretty revolutionary. We spent a year designing it, so
I'm excited about that because, as you know, the PCC is like the new thing right now. And,
yeah, mine's a little bit different than anything that's out there so far.
All right. Well, we're interested to hear about when you're ready to talk.
Cool. Well, it's we've ran it so far on all 3 platforms: the Smith & Wesson, the Glock, and the Colt, and it's working. And cool. We have a couple features that aren't really there yet, but I'll get you one as soon as they're in my hands. They're being cut up right now.
I've got one that I'm waiting to finish assembling an upper for. I don't have any of the parts for the upper yet, just the lower. I started piecing together. It's I I've been kicking around the idea of building, because I've got one that's a 16-inch barrel setup. I'm looking at building one like a really short AR 9mm pistol, basically, just for something kind of fun, kind of like a truck gun type of thing, sort of. But I thought the 9mm would be kind of fun to play with, so I'm looking at doing that. So, any new firearms in your stash?
I don't know. Probably. I got a new rifle coming from my rifle sponsor. I was playing with those 4.5-pound rifles, and I've been running around with a 12-pound rifle this whole season, 18-inch bull barrel, A2 gas system, big old buffer, and I think I'm going to try lightweight at nationals and for this upcoming season, because those 4.5-pound rifles they feel really good. They don't recoil a whole lot, so we'll see how it goes.
Is that going to be still a Palmer receiver too?
Yeah, it's the Kaiser out of Tucson. Kaiser Palmer upper, Palmer lower.
That's awesome. I'd like to check out their Palmer upper. I've seen only one other Palmer upper that I've dealt with, but that's people have had mixed results with that company. So I'm interested to see how that one works out. It sounds like, I know you put tons of rounds through this stuff, so I know if it's holding up for you, then it's got to be something good,
Yeah, I mean, the Palmer's solid. I thought that I had a problem with the Palmer upper receiver in the beginning of the season. I had to pull myself out of a match down in Florida on the long range stage because I was hitting 4 feet high at 400 yards. And I thought that it was the Palmer receiver, because everyone's like, oh, it's Palmer, it's probably flexing. I was like, well, crap. And, some other people online said that it was my scope, and that was a bunch of drama. But come to find out, the torque wrench I used to put that thing on, the Strike Industries barrel nut, I cracked it. So I was running around with a cracked barrel nut in the 12 o'clock position for I don't know, 4 months. So every time I'd lean on something, I'd flex and it would be hitting high. I know, I'm retarded, whatever. You live, you learn. But squared that away, and now I'm hitting stuff at 400 or 500 yards.
Was that an aluminum barrel nut?
Yeah, it was Strike Industries barrel nut, but that wasn't the problem. The problem was that the torque wrench I used was broken. So I actually put it on 200 something pounds per square inch.
Wow. Yeah, so it ain't gonna hold up to that period.
Yeah, it's because their barrel nut attaches to itself. It's like two barrel nuts that screw into each other.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting setup, but
very cool. Well, I'm glad to have you back on and hang out with us tonight. So it's always good to see you.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna walk over here to the shooting.
Yeah, I hear it. How's the Super Black Eagle doing?
It's getting refinished right now. My woodworker buddy I gave the wood to, and he's restaining it black. I want it black. So we're gonna make it black, and then he's gonna put 12 coats of clear coat on there. We're gonna try to make it look like a bowling ball.
Wow, is this the same stock that was cracked?
So yeah,
really, it's been through all
I fixed that.
I forgot.
Yeah, man.
I remember that was when we went to Florida. Was that, or was that Alabama?
My stock got cracked somewhere. I don't know, somewhere last year on the way to a match in the Pelican case.
Yeah. Wow. So they must have dropped that thing pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been a crack in there already, and then it got jarred around. Who knows? It's wood. I fixed it. It's good to go.
Cool. Good.
Did we lose Rick, or did we lose me?
I think we lost Rick.
I think we lost Rick.
All right.
Still here. Unless it's just you locking up, maybe. Because I know you're stopping us.
Oh, somebody did. We're good now.
There we go. Awesome, Ryan. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with us. So, and also...
hey, thanks for letting me pop on.
Hey, by the way, where can people find your bolts at? What's the website?
At systems.com.
Awesome. NitriteSystems.com. Check it out. So, yeah, we'll catch you again later. I know you're out doing your shooting stuff and whatnot right now, and I appreciate you coming in with us. So, we'll talk to you again soon. You're welcome to pop back in if you want throughout the show. So,
well, I'm going to go mute right now, but I'm going to walk over and show you what I got set up.
Okay. Well, I'll leave it up on your screen.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, that's cool. We'll go ahead and just leave it up on his video feed there just for right now and whatnot. But, yeah, Ryan's match director out there in Arizona. And I have the name of the place that the range that he uses, and I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now, fortunately. But that is a pretty nice facility.
It's a Ben Avery shooting facility.
That's it, Ben Avery. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, the stream's kind of freezing up, but yeah, you're already out there shooting. But it's awesome. It's all lit up at night like that to be able to go out and do some shooting. Of course, this must be some distance from civilization, so to speak, their houses and things like that, out like in the desert, I believe. Because obviously with the noise at night, I would think most people it would be an issue. But that's a pretty cool setup.
There's houses about a mile away. We can shoot until 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay, good.
That's really cool.
A mile is much closer than I thought it might be, but I guess it's still a pretty good distance. That's awesome that you shoot till like 10 though. I know right now it's I don't know what time it is out there. I forget in Arizona, but I know you're a few hours behind us, and I'm on the East Coast, so. But awesome. One of the things we were going to talk about too tonight. I'll leave your screen up there. I know. Joe, we were talking a little bit off air about this. Selling firearms or buying firearms used.
Yeah. I was just kind of thinking about it. All the firearms that I've bought have been new. I'm more kind of interested and curious about the selling side. Just more of advice. I don't know if any of you guys have sold a lot. What's like kind of recommended for somebody to do it the first time? What I'm kind of interested in prices too. Generally, if unless it's poor quality or very used. What could you expect to get back for like a $500 gun? Something like that. I'm just curious. I don't know. I don't know anybody who does that a lot.
Well, to answer that, like from my own experience, I haven't sold any guns yet, so I can't tell you how that is. I purchased a used gun before. I still have it. My SIG 226 was a used pistol that I bought. I can tell you about the buying end of it from my experience with that at least. That was a friend of mine, so that's kind of something that's a little different than if you're looking to buy something off the street and so forth, so to speak. When I say off the street, just from private parties, what I mean. I'm not saying like off the street, like stolen, obviously. So, and of course, it's a pretty easy transaction to do. Every state has its own laws, so you got to kind of look into that and see what your options are or what you got to do. I know in Illinois, when I was there not too long ago, there's a form you got to do with your FOID card. You got to run. I think you had to run. Let's see, the person that is selling it has to have like your FOID card be ran, and like you have to put down like some number like on like a form order for state police to basically prove that their FOID card was valid at the time that you made the purchase and so forth. And I thought he was off there, so he pays back.
And that's for private.
Oh, cool! He's got his bolt. By the way,
that's for like private transactions, right?
Yeah, private transactions. Now,
what if just about like a store, just our FFL, whatever.
Like selling a used gun or a used gun to an FFL, or buying from one.
Selling a used gun to an FFL. That's really what I'm more curious about. And not necessarily paperwork, and it's more. I'm kind of more curious about price.
Like the sales aspect of it.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of experience with that. A friend of mine I live in San Diego in California, and a friend of mine has a gun shop out here. And outside of all the state nonsense that we have to do, one of the things you as the seller have to keep in mind is that the gun store is buying that in order to make money. So you're not going to get the same amount or value of that weapon that you would get from a private transaction. So you might expect to pay, $50 to $100, or expect to get $50 to $100 less than what it might actually be worth.
Right. Because the store's got to be, they got to make their margin on it to be worth.
It's like watching Pawn Stars, right? Like,
exactly.
I'm in business. I'm reselling this thing. You gotta expect you're taking a hit on it just for that aspect. Yeah. Private party sales. The way I look at it, at least, and again, I haven't sold anything, only purchased it. Is that you're gonna probably get a better amount of money out of whatever it is you're selling. But then all that risk and liability of who you sell it to is placed on you as a seller.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to the state thing too. Like in California, the purchaser has to do a 4473 as well as the NICS check and all that other stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm thinking of the seller. Sorry, you said purchaser. It has to,
Right.
Obviously, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's just
what would
Sorry, go
be for obviously if you want to get the most money out of it, you want to do private sale. Is there? I mean, what are some good websites that you can kind of communicate with people? I mean, especially if you don't know a ton of gun people.
Gunbroker is probably a good option to kind of start getting a rough idea of things. I mean, there's a
That's
lot
what I was
of
gonna say.
there's a lot of overpriced stuff on there, but there's our good deals. I mean, a prime example, a guy I work with just picked up a M&P Pro like 6 months ago, and he got it from a guy who's a professional competitive shooter. Just is Smith & Wesson's giving him, I guess, the 2.0 now. Long story short, he got the Pro, 9 mags, couple holsters, ton of stuff, like $700. I mean, it was
Yeah, that's a good thing to
deal.
keep in mind. The accessories.
Right.
It's not always just like what pistol or whatever it is you're purchasing, but what's coming with it too. You've seen deals where people are selling, like you said, extra mags, with it. And, if it's a rifle, maybe you're getting a couple different scopes or something with it, or a sling or a case or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All those things add value to what you're getting. So it's, in my opinion, it's looking at, what the deal is that you're looking at versus like, they said compare, like, Gunbroker, Armors List, I think.
Armors List would be a good one.
I was going to say, you can also go to like gun.deals. I think it is. It used to be slickguns.com, but I think it's gun.deals now. They have all the new stuff on there, whatever the best pricing you could find on a brand new one. So then it kind of gives you a gauge like, okay, if this is what the newest one costs, or new one costs, or the lowest cost or lowest price point I could find, and you start looking at the used options, you kind of can get a little bit of an idea of where you might be as far as what to expect for a price on something. Private party sales are probably where you're going to find the best deals, but again, like you said, they have the most liability. There was a story, not too long ago. I heard this from a relative of mine that a friend of theirs was at a store, like one of the big box stores, like a Cabela's or Bass Pro or something like that. And he's looking at a gun. I think it was a rifle or a shotgun of some type. I don't remember, but a long gun. And, someone at the store is like, "Oh, you're looking to buy that?" He's like, "I got one I'm selling. I got a used one that I'm looking to sell." And he's like, "Oh, really? Yeah, I'll sell it to you for X $100. It was a really good deal." So he's like, "Oh, cool." So he went ahead and bought it. Follow whatever rules he had to follow to buy it in that particular state. But later on, I found out it was a stolen rifle. Someone broke into someone's house and stole it. And was reselling it. And so, right there, he lost his money on it, and risks going to jail for having stolen property and whatever. That sort of thing. So you got to be careful. Obviously, when you're buying something they used from a private party. My thought was, and I haven't done it this way yet because the one I bought was through someone that I knew personally, a good friend of mine. But maybe if you're going to do a private party like transfer, so to speak, maybe just going to an FFL and talking with them, see if they can handle the actual transfer, like the paperwork for you, and have them just do the background check type stuff. I'm sure they would probably do it. Like take it in as a transfer and then transfer it to you. I just never have done it that way. So I don't know if any of you guys have any thoughts on that one. Like Charles, you might know. It might be different in California too.
Yeah, for us, we're out here to buy anything, we have to go through an FFL. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Whether with the exception of being what they call an intrafamiliar transfer, but that's a whole nother thing. Essentially, it's just inheriting a weapon system from your dad or grandpa or something like that. But outside of that, it's everything. It doesn't matter if I'm selling to my brother. We have to go to an FFL or some random guy down the street. And there's, I can see pros and cons to either one. It's kind of the pros, you're protecting yourself. The downside is, depending on what the state's way of doing business is, it can be, a pain in the butt or more of a burden than it probably should. But I know, like in states like Arizona, Nevada, friends of mine that live there, they've done, private party sales and transfers with people they don't know, and they write up bill of sales and things like that in order to kind of give themselves some kind of protection or prevent some liability.
Yeah, well, here in North Carolina, from my understanding, and I haven't done a transfer here privately or anything like that yet. So you usually have to have a pistol purchase permit for a private party transfer, at least of a handgun. I'm not sure on the long gun on that one, because normally you don't have to have one if you're buying from an FFL, any type of permit. And I'm saying this permit, like the pistol purchase permit, is every single pistol you want to buy. If you don't have a concealed handgun permit through the state of North Carolina, you have to buy a $5 purchase permit for each one. And even if you're doing a private party, I believe you surrender that permit to the person that you're buying it from, and that person has to hold on to it for X amount of years and so forth. It might be 10 years or whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. But if you get your
out here, I don't even think you need. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was gonna say out here, you don't even think you need a bill of sale. We sell used guns to people all the time. I mean, it's common out here. You just do a bill of sale to save your butt. But I got a story. I got a shooter that's about to go right now. But I got a story about working in a gun shop. I sold a gun to a woman who went home and killed herself. And Phoenix PD was they came in and investigated me and our video cameras to see if she was displaying any suicidal tendencies or anything to try to get me in trouble. I thought that was BS. But, I mean, she seemed normal to me. I got to mute myself. They're about.
Okay. Wow, that's just crazy. But
yeah, you gotta be careful. You gotta cover your ass.
Well, that's just like going to gun stores. There's or ranges and whatnot. You hear the stories about people renting a firearm and then killing themselves and whatnot. There was one I saw. There was a video of that. Like I think it was a mom that went to the range with her son and rented some firearms. I believe they rented them. Or they may have just been out shooting. I'm not sure if they're into it or not. I can't remember that part for sure. Her son's going to shoot, and she has a gun in her hand behind him and ends up shooting him in the head, and then shooting herself in the head.
Crazy. Yeah.
Just it is.
It's pretty gnarly. We used to have. I worked at a shooting range that had that happen. I don't know, about a dozen times in the past 12 years.
That's why I'll see curtains on some of them too, right? Some of these ranges will have curtains or something up so you can close them off so that people outside don't see what's going on after that.
Jeez.
I know Ryan's got some gunfire going on in the background, but
I know, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, go for it.
I know, in Indiana, for a private sale, you don't have to have any kind of paperwork or anything. You don't have to do background checks. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to transfer your name to their name or their name to your name. So it makes it difficult for personal sales, but then again, that's really up to the person selling and buying the firearm.
Right. I know I haven't done any even private transfers yet here, or purchases myself. I'm trying to think when. I know Laura bought a couple, firearms here, obviously, and she had a pistol purchase permits for those. And I believe they did a background check on top of that, but I'm not 100% certain. I want to say, like in Illinois, they have to call it in and this and that, whatever, and run the background check. But I think the pistol purchase permit might act as your background check, so to speak. And I believe it's the same way if you have a concealed carry permit through North Carolina. That you having your concealed carry permit is like your background check. And I may have had that wrong, so don't quote me on it. That's my vague understanding of it. But let's say you don't have a pistol purchase permit or you don't have your concealed handgun permit, well, then they have to run the background check on you for a long gun, if you're purchasing a shotgun or rifle or whatever. So it's a little bit different. Every state's got, seems to have their own little variation of the laws on these things. I say little, some are more drastic than others, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of all those changes and whatnot, something to consider too, the laws. Obviously right now, we haven't really talked about this, and I hate politics, and we all know that. Politics kind of suck. No one's ever happy with the outcomes of these things, in entirety. But we got some laws that are not laws. We have some potential like some bills, I guess, legislation, I guess what I'm trying to say, out there that's these things are coming up for votes and whatnot, and they can drastically change how, the course of our firearms ownership is going to go. Different, bills that are looking to take away, Any magazines over 10 rounds, which in some states is already kind of a thing. There's obviously like the whole thing about the increased rate of fire. And what's scary about these bills is not, that they're looking to ban bunkfire stocks, but the vagueness of the way the laws are written, which means it's left to interpretation. When something's left to interpretation, it's even worse. What is the rate of fire? What's the benchmark for that? Is that going to mean that all of our regular, performance triggers, like our, competition triggers and match grade triggers, because they have a short reset or later trigger pull, are now going to increase the rate of fire, and they're now therefore legal to own or manufacture or transfer or whatever, basically make them legal in general.
Yeah.
So
the ambiguity is crazy, and it does lead for broad interpretation. I mean, I can't even believe that a bill like this is introduced in the form it's in. I mean, it's like 2 pages long. I mean, you can go online, read it in a minute. I just can't believe that like any form of legislation that broad and could just be even put to the floor. I mean, even anything else, like any other regulation or law about anything else that's written that way, it's unbelievable.
What was that bill number 2? I know you remember you had said it earlier. I thought it was like 3999 or...
Yeah, it's HR 3999, I believe.
Okay. And I know there's a whole list of other ones out there. That's not the only one. There's tons of these things out there, and it's not even just at the federal level, but there's other legislation that can be at your state level too. You got to pay attention to. Yeah. And what we need to all do is be calling all of our reps and telling them, that we do not support these potential laws. Or these bills, vote no against them. They always say it, we give even an inch to keep taking it, and that's what kind of seems like they're trying to do in this case. But instead, they're going after pretty much the whole pie in a sense. By being so vague with these things.
Yeah, you just got to reach out and express your, opposition, and any other pro. Legislation, you got to express your support as well. It goes both ways.
We got hit with the whole thing too. We were kind of fighting to try to get suppressors, off the NFA list, which is really ironic because in many of the countries where, they have really strict gun laws, obviously, far more stricter than ours, because they don't have a Second Amendment, for one, that. Suppressors are something that people use for hunting and so forth. It's something that's, totally acceptable and understood. Like it's better for reduced noise, help to keep people from hearing loss and so forth and things like that. Well, TV, movies, and all that kind of stuff kind of have vilified that whole idea of having a suppressor because they call them silencers and they think that, they're so whisper quiet that it's something that's used by assassins all across the world or whatever, and so forth. And realistically, it doesn't make your firearm any more deadly as they try to think it does. Do
we have an update on where that went? Like, what's the status of that now?
I thought it got all shut down after the tragedy in Las Vegas.
Yeah, the last I heard, it was it was essentially dead for the rest of this congressional session.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it pretty much sucks.
Yep. Well, prime examples in France, it's mandatory to use a suppressor at an indoor shooting range.
Yeah, exactly. And you wish more people would use them in indoor ranges because that, especially then you come in there to go shoot your pistol and whatnot. And I'm guilty of this. I've shot rifle indoors. I mean, I was probably that guy who annoyed somebody, when I did some rapid firing with my AR or whatever indoors. That happens. But, you get someone next to you in the bay next to you, and they're, shooting off an AR. That thing's just like, bam, right next to you.
Yeah.
Even with your ear pro on it, still, you get a nice blast from it. And running a suppressor would be so much nicer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
problem is that, like I said, they want to think, well, like for example, in the event in Las Vegas that just happened, and I want to get some of your thoughts on this. Do you think that event would have been deadlier if the person who was doing all the shooting was using a suppressor on their firearms?
No, I don't think so. Because even though it suppresses the sound, depending if you're shooting at a supersonic round, it's going to still have that crack that bullets have when as they travel through the air. And secondly, I mean, there's still muzzle flash. It's still going to be that muzzle flash from the end of that can as that person's firing. So would it have taken a little bit longer to realize where it's coming from? Maybe, but I mean, I don't really recall anybody realizing where it was coming from initially anyway. They just, heard it and then it went down. I mean, it's still, for people that maybe have never shot suppressors before, it's not like it's still loud, even without ear pro, like it'll hurt. So, there would be, a noise happening. It would definitely raise some questions as, what the heck is that? I mean, as people start dropping around you might realize that's not right. And then, so, I mean, it might have delayed something, but I don't think it would have made it any more or less, tragic or deadly.
Right. And I was going to add to that too. I was going to say, if let's say they were running subsonic ammo too in it, now that might have also decreased it because now it's subsonic is going to be a lower velocity, right? I mean,
right.
That distance,
so then it would be a lot more quiet because that's what the suppressor was designed to be run around was subsonic ammo. The inverse of that, though, the range. What's my range of that round? What's my barrel length? Am I getting full powder burn on whatever they're shooting at that point?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then even if it does have the range to get to where the targets were, the people were, is it have enough energy behind it to kill them? That's another question that could be raised.
Right, because that's a pretty good distance. So what people don't necessarily realize too is you're not just going with the distance of point A to point B, but the angle of being way up high. So that it's not like you're shooting just across the street. It's also the distance from being up on top to the bottom. The whole triangle type deal.
Yeah, the whole Pythagorean theorem.
Yes, that's exactly it. You read my mind. So yeah, you gotta keep that in mind too. But yeah, I mean, exactly. And then the whole bonfire stock thing, people say, well, that might have helped save some people, or been made it less of a less deadly in a sense because of the accuracy that's lost with it. Well, at the same token, if that's what he was using, and said sorry, our internet sucks because that's why he dropped out earlier. No big deal. Appreciate him being on. So as I was saying, I was trying to talk, so you interrupted me for a second there. Yeah, bonfire stock. So the accuracy to the issue. Obviously, he was spraying just into a crowd of people. So, I don't know. I guess it is a really tough call. If someone's actually intending to pick a target, it's going to take them time to pick one person, then the next person, then the next person, systematically versus just unleashing as many rounds as fast as possible in the general direction of a crowd of people.
Yeah, and I mean, if someone has the intent to do harm to a group of people, they're going to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you're going to do to stop it.
Yeah, everything we're talking about is like marginal. I mean, it's really, and that's the problem I have, with politicians trying to do this. It's not fixing any sort of real problem. Like,
It's
the ultimate reason why this happened is because this absolute evil person decided to pull the trigger. I mean, that's it.
We heard it from the horse's mouth when Feinstein said that no laws would have changed the outcome of what happened in Las Vegas.
Right.
But yet they want to go after guns and gun rights because it's an easy thing to make people feel better. And that's the short-term Band-Aid to making people feel better versus, taking away our rights. Because there'll be something else next that happens that people will want to take away or, become a problem and so forth.
Yeah, most people want to be – yeah, exactly. Most people want to be reactive instead of proactive, and they don't want – when something like this happens, when it fits their political narrative, they don't want to, recognize the aspect of personal accountability or personal responsibility. You know, let's do this instead because it makes us feel better. And it never in history has it ever worked out that way.
Exactly.
It's kind of hard to believe that she would even mention anything like that in a statement, simply because of all the gun control laws that she's for.
Exactly.
So it's
like she's pushing this agenda, but yet she's telling us flat out that she doesn't believe it would make a difference.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, where is the logic in that? It does not make sense.
Yeah. So what?
There is none.
So her beliefs for helping the American people are strictly against her own belief.
Right. She carries too. I mean, she has armed protective agents that walk around with her all the time. I mean, the same people that are trying to take away, you know, our rights and our personal property, for that matter, are the same people that they're hypocrites. They have all these resources. They have these things. California recently passed a bunch of crazy gun laws.
Mm-hmm.
But what most people don't realize, you know, outside of the California specific to a community, is that they exempted themselves from those gun laws. So it used to be you can own 30-round magazines, but you weren't allowed to use them, and it was kind of a weird gray area. Now they're just completely banned. But of course, you know, those politicians can have them still.
But that doesn't make any sense. It's like almost as this, martial law and anarchy come back into place. You know, you've got the civilians using 10-round magazines where their government's actually using more rounds against them.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to California. None of this makes sense here.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That whole West Coast is messed up.
It is. It has absolutely. The thing that sucks is, I mean, I'm from here. You know, I grew up here and everything. It's a beautiful state. I mean, I can snowboard, surf, and skate in the same day, and you know, hit every kind of weather I want. But the politics ruin this place like nobody's business. And it's not just me. I tend to be a libertarian kind of thinker, but I know people that are on the left side of the spectrum that they don't want to be here anymore just because it's gotten so bad. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like that most people that think like that are a politician and think like a politician only serve what they think is best for the people and not themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got people that I know in the state of Indiana that are politicians, and their title is a politician in the government, but they don't act or think like a politician. They do it because they're a citizen of the United States of America and a citizen of the state of Indiana, and they're going to pass bills not for themselves but for the other people just like them.
Right, and that's what we need more of. Across the board.
Mm-hmm. By the way, Charles, what's missing off your wall back there?
Let's see. What do I have up there right now? I got my 34 and one of my ARs. So my AR-10's missing, and my 19 and my 21 SF, and I forgot what else I had up there. That's just my work guns.
Gotcha. Which I don't know if you want to tell everybody what you kind of do with it all or not.
Yeah, sure. So I do high threat. Well, I work in the security industry. I work in high threat executive protection, and I teach it as well. The teaching aspect. Cool. I work for a company that provides training to people. Mostly, it's veterans that want to use their GI Bill to get some kind of formal training to get into this security contracting field. And we go over security driving, TCCC, which is tactical casualty care. It's trauma medicine. So all the vets, a lot of them were Marines from Camp Pendleton that you saw helping in Vegas. They were implementing principles of TCCC to help save people's lives. So, stopping bleeding, sealing chest wounds, things like that. And then we get into the non-sexy stuff, which is all the administrative and mission planning and things like that. And then we get into all the cool guy stuff, such as, client evacs, shooting, those kind of things. And then when I'm not doing that, I get sent out across the world to take clients on details to various dangerous places. I work in Mexico a lot, more so than I'd like to, but wow, it is what it is.
Now, are those trainings that you provide, are those strictly just for veterans?
Absolutely not. Anybody can come through. The reason we get mostly veterans is just because in the civilian world, there's kind of this appeals to those guys, regardless of what they did. I mean, I've had the spectrum. I've had guys from CAG, or Combat Application Group, which is Delta Force, come through, and I've had Army band guys come through, like who've never fired a round outside of boot camp. So I mean, we've gotten the entire spectrum of students that are veterans. The reason we get so many veterans, though, is because we are GI Bill approved. They can use their GI Bill, and the cost of the course is expensive just because of all the logistics of, we provide the ammo, we provide weapons, we provide gas for the driving day, we provide just about everything outside of food and lodging. So it's really logistics heavy, and that's why it has a high price tag. But because it has that high price tag, students with the GI Bill can use their GI Bill, and they actually get paid to go to school. The government pays for that training, and then they get a housing allowance while they're in that training as well.
Now, how long does the training last?
You can do, there's a couple variations of the pipeline. There's the 3-course pipeline, which is about 32 days, and that covers the medical, the administrative, and then the high threat, shooting package. And then there's a longer version where you can add on the driving course, and then an even longer version where you can add on technical surveillance and counter surveillance.
Cool.
That's pretty awesome stuff.
It's a good time.
Definitely.
So is it only based in California, where you
right
are?
now? Yeah. Well, so our driving program, everything is based out of San Diego right at the moment. We are working on opening up things in Arizona and Nevada as well. Our actual driving track that we use is in Tucson, Arizona. So the students come out to California, get a classroom out here, then we take them to Tucson to our track, and we're working on some other things for out of state.
Okay.
So again, this is a company you work for, or a company you own for the training?
This is a
portion?
company I work for.
Okay.
I own a separate company that has nothing to do with this stuff at all.
Oh yeah, far away from gun stuff.
Well, I mean, it's not really. I guess I don't know. I really don't even know how to explain it. It's kind of like multimedia stuff for the gun industry, but that's just outside of the whole training and security
gotcha.
work stuff.
Cool. Okay. Nice. I know Corey's got a company too, Southern Style Beards.
Yeah.
Right on.
Something kind of somewhat outside of the gun world, but a
Yeah.
lot of the gun guys like to have beards. So
Heck yeah.
Hey, there is nothing wrong with a good beard oil that you can not only put on your face, but you can lube up with your gun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That is a magical thing.
I know.
So it doubles as not only a beard oil, but also for a gun lubricant?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's awesome.
If you're in a pinch.
That would be kind of cool.
I was on the website earlier. Looks pretty good.
Oh, thank you.
I have not checked it out yet. I have to take a look at it again. But yeah, that's actually a concept right there, man. Market it as a beard/gun oil, right?
I know, right? Yeah.
Be like, yeah, you can not only can you take care of all your grooming needs, but you can also lubricate and protect your firearm as well.
Yeah.
Bam. One-stop shop. It's like the CLP, but add something to it for beards.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So, Joe, have you anything else going on? Any new gun purchases? I know you talked about selling stuff. Something you're looking at getting, or are you buying
No.
new?
No, no, I haven't done anything in a while. That's kind of why. There's a gun that I bought and I just don't really use. I haven't fallen in love with it, so that's the one I'm looking to sell. And probably just just use that money to put towards
So
probably a rifle. It's the Car CM9. I'll probably look to sell. It's a good gun. It really is.
Right.
But I don't really I don't carry it, so it's I just don't really use it that much. That's probably and I'm not even dead set on selling it. It's just that's probably the one I would sell if I did sell something.
So what rifle are you looking at? Possibly.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
You want to get an AK?
actually, You know what? Not really. I don't know. AKs don't really appeal to me right now, at least.
I tell you,
yeah,
what,
you just bought one, right?
I did. I bought the Raz 47. I only got to shoot it the day I bought it. I have not shot it again yet.
You haven't shot it yet?
Well, I took it. I ran 20 rounds through it at the range, 35 when I bought it. Right out of the box. Didn't even clean or lubricate or anything. Just threw a mag in it and went to town. But I tell you what. Yeah, right now, I still like my ARs better. No offense to the AK. Now, having said that, shooting a couple full auto AKs already that I've shot, those are a blast to shoot full auto. That is awesome. No doubt about it. So, yeah, anyhow.
I feel like AKs were just meant to design to just spray the bullets, not really used for accuracy.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say, too. I think it's still a pretty accurate rifle in many sense, but
yeah, I think it is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I prefer my ARs over the AK. I shoot AK way more than I shoot ARs.
Really?
But
Really?
It can be accurate, but I always think of the AK as like it's that gun that's designed like it's like a beater car of guns, right? It's just designed to be abused.
It's to keep on running and
yeah. It's just designed to put something down range. It doesn't necessarily have to hit the target. It just got to put it out there.
That way.
To answer your question, Rick, I'm probably looking at just military surplus rifles.
Okay, cool.
I've kind of been bitten by the bug.
Well, you bought a Mosin, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, so I thought.
I've only shot it once.
Yeah,
but I love it. I've probably cleaned and oiled it like 7 times.
But did you get the crate of ammo for it?
No, that's hard to find now.
I know. When I bought mine, I bought a crate with the 2 spam cans of 880 rounds total. I probably used a couple packs out of that so far, and kept the other 10 sealed. But I wish I would have bought a few more because our guns up in Carpentersville, Illinois, they're about.
That's where I got mine.
Close. Yep. Yeah. They used to have a whole I would say pallet. Back when they were in the small location in the strip mall before they moved to the really nice facility that you probably saw down the road, which has a huge warehouse with it and everything. They had stacks and stacks and stacks of 7.62 by 54R, and I was like, oh man. One day I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's a lot of money to buy a case. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. I want to have one though. I like the wood crate that it comes in. It's kind of cool. In fact, I want to say it was last year maybe. Our friends over at Manicore Arms, they had a like a Christmas party thing with I want to say Black Rhino Concealment and a few other companies that were all involved, and they did it at Paintball Explosion, I want to say, in Illinois. There, it used to be the old Santa's Village, believe it or not, which they turned it into a full laser tag and paintball facility. So they still have the little houses and candy canes and whatnot and deer or whatever. I think all over the place, and they just made it into that outdoor part of it into paintball place. Pretty cool. Needless to say, when I was there, they had this little bar area inside the place to hang out, and that's kind of where the party was. And then they kind of had it set up where we can all go out and play laser tag and come in and out as we wanted to and whatnot. It was pretty cool. Inside the bar area, they had a wall that was basically all those wooden crates. They cut off the ends of them. I want to say where the face where all the writing in Russian and whatnot is. And I don't know if it was just Russian, but it might have been other nations as well that these wooden crates were from. And they made a whole wall just with that, put all the wood together on it. It was really just cool. I don't think I have any pictures of it. I might have taken one at one point when I was there, but I was like, this is an awesome idea. What a way to kind of build a decorative backdrop to a wall with just these ammo cans or ammo crates that are wood. So neat way to repurpose it for sure. Just like I don't know if you saw the crates that the Mosins came in or not. If they
I've
had
seen pictures, yeah.
Okay, so when I bought my Mosin, I bought it from a place called Law Weapons, which is now in Naperville, Illinois. I think they were in Wheaton, maybe. I'm not sure. No, not Wheaton. Oak Brook Terrace, I think. They moved to Naperville, Illinois when I bought mine. But anyway, so when I went to their facility, they actually were our guns imported Mosins because they have some other relationship together with that company. But they all came in the crates, and they were selling the crates too. So as they would sell out of these Mosins, which you can kind of go and handpick which one you wanted, kind of deal. They sold the crates. So people would take those crates and they would turn them into like coffee tables and things. Some really cool ones. Taking them putting a glass top on them, making illuminated. There's all types of cool things you can do with them. In fact, I have a photo, I believe, on the 50 States of AR-15 Facebook page. If you go to the Illinois Rifle photos, the photo album on there, you can see from Manticore Arms, they actually had in their, I guess you'd say like their boardroom, so to speak. They had a glass table that they built, hand built it, and they used like 4x4s, I believe, on it, and also like some ammo, or not ammo, some like crates, like for, I don't know if they were for rockets or grenades or what, but they were just like wooden crates, like military style crates. Put two of those together, and put these 4x4s, I think, in the corner with some hockey pucks and a nice glass, and it just looks awesome. It's just a cool thing you can do with some of these things to repurpose them and turn them into awesome furniture and whatnot. So
that's awesome. I love stuff like that.
Do you like your? I'm sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Horry.
Joe, do you like your Mosin Nagant?
Yeah, I mean they're fair. Well, they're not as cheap as they used to be, but it's a great, I think, introductory milsurp rifle. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's fun just to work that action. It's fun to shoot, and it looks awesome. I don't know. It's just cool.
And you put you got the bayonet, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. Put that thing on there. Like if you have the regular full length Mosin with that on there, it's like almost taller than me. I mean, it's a long rifle. It's long. You can pull ball with it.
There's things about Mosins that I mean, they're not the highest quality. There's like the sticky bolt issues, and I mean, you can't compare them to a Mauser. I mean, they're just not as good.
Right.
The design's just low, but
that'd be kind of cool.
No, they're cool.
Okay.
I like them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm with you on that too. With the whole idea of the whole military surplus firearms. I think, isn't it true that I heard something about the 1911s? There's something with that. Are they going to get a bunch of them for the civilian marksmanship program now that got released or something?
Oh, really?
That would be cool if they did that.
Yeah, I think that'd be awesome to get your hands on one of those.
Now they were talking about bringing a bunch of the Garands back from Korea.
That would be cool. Also, it would be nice to add one of those in my collection. Of course, a lot of people would like to. A lot of awesome things. I mean, I saw a photo. One of my Facebook friends, I think it was Pete from GunChannels.com. Actually, he had a photo of a frame and slide from World War II, 1911. That was like, if he found, I don't know if he found it, or actually I take that back. He traded a firearm for this, and it was found in the desert, like in Arizona somewhere. And it's a totally rusted, crudded up, slide in a frame. And it's like, you look at that thing and it's like, man, this is probably the worst thing you could see condition wise, but just the history, that is just so cool.
Yeah.
That's
that you would just love to have that. And
shoot.
What if, even though it's all rusty and crusted, could you, in theory, replace all the components because it's just a bare slide and a bare frame? Could you make it work?
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't run perfect and flawlessly smooth, could it be functional?
Mm-hmm.
I think
Do the holes all need? I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Do the holes all need repair? Are they rusted and pitted? Where they, your pins and things might fit really sloppy? Are the threads gone for the grips? That sort of thing. But I'm thinking to myself, all of those things can be repaired in some fashion. Meaning, like, if there's a pinhole that's out of spec, you could drill it out and put an insert in place of it, and make a repair to it, and you probably could make it work again to some degree. Will the slide, rattle and so forth? Will it be the tightest fitting slide? Probably not, because of the rust pitting and so forth. But could it be done? That's my theory anyway. But that'd be so awesome. To take something like that was just so, it's history. It's been neglected and weathered. I'm not saying refinish it and make it look like new, but just, put components back into it and make it run. Do they have to be all brand new components? No. If you could find some aged components that would kind of go along with the age of it, that would be really cool. So I don't know, just my thought. I saw recently too, someone on Facebook was posting up they had a couple of, I want to say they were CZs, like a CZ75 or something like that. One, the finish was like totally gone, a little bit of pitting on it and so forth. It was really like a blue type finish that was totally worn. The other one looked like it had maybe like some type of a nitride type, black finish to it that was worn from use. And he said, one of these two I'm gonna make into like an ultimate like sleeper pistol for competition, and the other one I'm just gonna refinish and black out or whatever. And I'm looking at her, obviously, I don't know, the other one he's got chrome or something like that, or not chrome, but like, I'm using the wrong terminology, like nickel plated or whatever, like shiny, like chrome. And I'm like looking, I'm like, yeah, I bet the one that is worn finished, is going to be the one that you're going to chrome or polish out, basically, bling out. I don't know what word do I use, because the surface of the material looks like it's all nice and flat. Because I know if you try to put like a shiny reflective coating, like a nickel or something, onto a surface that has pitting and so forth, it's not going to come out real nice. In fact, I was talking with the one of the owners of Rock Island Armory about their nickel-plated 1911s that they have. Because honestly, my father had one. I want to say it was either Ruger or a Colt that he had back in the day. Never got to see it because he sold it when I, probably before I came along or whatever. But it was nickel, finish and whatnot. And so I was like, hey, it'd be kind of cool to get one to add in my collection, kind of reminiscent of that, and so forth. And so I was talking with him at Rock Island Armory, and he was saying, yeah, I want to say it was like 1 out of 9 out of 10 of them, I think he said. Like, it was a really high number of their frames and slides that they have done in nickel finishing. They don't make the cut because they just, if they have like flaws, they show up so badly that it's junk. They won't go with it. And this is a really when I think of Rock Island Armory, to me, and I have several of their pistols and one of the shotguns and things, I look at them as a lower cost, high value, firearm. They're pretty decent, with their stuff. I mean, I've been happy with it, and they got a great lifetime warranty and everything as well. But anyway, I forget how I even got on this subject exactly anymore. Sometimes I just ramble on about these things and whatnot, but just sharing stories about it. Yeah, I guess it was Mill Surplus, the 1911, and kind of got sidetracked with an idea of something I saw. But anyway, a lot of cool different things in this. And that whole refinishing process is just kind of neat too. Obviously, if you're getting something that's Mill Surplus or old, I kind of like the idea of keeping it somewhat original looking. Keep that patina on it type of deal. But in the same token, there's some firearms that you get that are worn, and it'd be kind of fun to just make them like new again. And you go through them, strip them all down. You have them, Cerakoted or Duracoated or whatever coating you want to do, and they come out looking awesome. There's a lot of cool stuff with that as well, with all these coatings and whatnot. And I'm itching to get another one done at some point. Next one's probably going to be whenever I get my custom slide put together or completed. Not completed, but I guess machined is the word I'm looking for. Whenever I get I have a Spencer Precision slide that's just a bare, basically a blank slate slide for my Glock 19. I showed it a few times on the show and whatnot. When I get that done, I'm thinking about having that Cerakoted. Nitride's cool and all, but it's also really, really expensive. And I think Cerakote would probably work out just fine for that particular slide. Looking at putting the channel logo on it and doing some serrations and some porting and stuff like that to it. And I think it'd be kind of neat to be able to do it like in a black slide with, the channel logo in the white and red to kind of go along with that to kind of finish it out. That's what I've been thinking of. But, yeah, anyway, I don't know if you guys got anything else you wanted to maybe discuss tonight while we're still on for a little bit here, or I guess Charles, have you got anything?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head at the moment.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being on with us too tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was kind of cool having you on here, and it's always neat to have people from different aspects of it, especially, you know, from the whole training side and you know, your whole career path that you're on right now, the whole you know, doing security and so forth. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
And Corey, you got anything? Any thoughts?
I've just focused on school right now and getting this company up and going. Hopefully, a meeting at the end of the week. And got some cool designs waiting for us. We got some, I guess, basic demos last week. We really didn't like them. We want something that more, you know, standout-ish and
For your logo and so forth?
Yeah.
I was going to say, you're talking about packaging design?
Yeah, logos and then how we're going to be able to fit that onto our labels.
Logos are always hard to come up with. I mean,
I know.
You know, it's the funniest thing. If you look at some of the branding out there, some of these logos and designs, you know, if you just saw it and didn't have an actual product behind it or a company behind it,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, what the hell is that thing supposed to be? And then what really builds it is the company and the product and the experience that you have with it, and it becomes the whole thing, you know, whole ambiance of what it is you're selling and what it is your company's all about.
Right.
And all of a sudden that little like picture of a guy with a beard turns into something that people recognize.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter what it looks like at that point. It's something I learned, like, even with like a business name.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you call your business. It's like the whole, you know, business behind it.
It's really based like on the product, but we want something too that like stands out and really pops.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I get you.
You know, if we don't get anything this week, I think we're just going to stick with what we have for now, and then go from there so we can get this up and going. So
just keep in mind that if you decide to change your logo later on, it kind of throws off the brand recognition pretty good. I mean, look at Devil Dog Arms. You know, that's the whole. You know, they have that whole thing, of course, with their one owner and whatnot that kind of like, you know, made that whole thing with the Stolen Valor bit and everything kind of go downhill. But the now they're looking at changing their logo. So now like they have stuff that has the old logos, and now they got stuff that has the new logos on it, and it just kind of like you lose that brand recognition, and all of a sudden you're trying to like, why not just restart the whole company as a whole different entity altogether?
Yeah.
So it's not a bad idea to try to pick something that you're really happy with now.
Yeah.
To continue on with it.
Right.
I tell you what, with the whole brand thing, like the BIGGUNNER81, what the hell is that? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it and it's like people are like, "What's the 81 for?" And you know, where do you come up with this from? And I'm like, because I'm a big guy who likes to shoot, and the 81 is the year I was born, so I just had to come up with something, and it works. So now it's my brand, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know, the logo that I've been using, I was asking people over some ideas on logos. My friend James Mason, he said to me, he goes, "Don't come up with a logo, just come up with a cool like font type thing for it." He's like, "Here," he made that and sent me a couple of files for him. I'm like, "This is awesome, thank you." You know, and he's a good dude. He I forgot what the name of his company is. He was marketing. It's something in Hue, and I forgot the first part of it. He's out of Georgia, but they do all types of marketing for companies and stuff. In fact, that might be someone I can set you up with to talk to you about your logo. He might be able to help with that.
Yeah, definitely.
You know? I will. I'll send you his information offline as well to get in contact with them. But,
sounds good.
Again, appreciate you being out with us tonight.
Yeah, always. Thank you.
And Joe, you got anything you want to throw out too?
No, I am good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming out with us and hanging out and everything. And hopefully we'll get together sometime. I don't know when I'll be back in Illinois or whatnot, or we'll have an event coming up down here. We'll have to get you guys down and whatnot.
Yeah, I'd love to come down there at some point.
It's different.
Yeah, it's tricky to get to your area though.
No, it's not. I tell you what, I am right next to the airport. My work is right next to the airport. I live about 40 minutes away from the airport, roughly.
Oh, I thought you lived further west than that. Okay.
When I say airport, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte Airport. Yeah, it's basically you could jump on a flight from Southwest, or I think American runs down here, but it's pretty easy. I was doing that for a while because remember.
But driving is not easy.
Driving is like 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
The driving, I split it up into 2 days because it's just easier to do it that way. fly out is a better idea.
Yeah.
If you want to bring guns down, I mean, you can always
Well,
you can fly with guns or ship them with your name and whatnot and have signature on or
I
whatever.
would just shoot yours, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like we don't have a whole bunch of cases there with guns and stuff to shoot, but yeah, definitely. That's exactly. You're always welcome to do that. So, hey, again, thanks for being on with us, and again, everybody out there watching, just recap a couple things. If you're watching this on the BIGGUNNER81 channel after it's been live, if you want to watch this show live, come over to the BIGGUNNER81 live channel, and you can watch it on here on YouTube as well, live. And I'm going to put these, for right now, we're putting the videos up. Obviously when they're live, they go after the video's live, it's posted automatically onto the BIGGUNNER81 live channel. And then I also go ahead and download it and I put it back up onto the BIGGUNNER81 channel right now. Again, I'm probably gonna do this as a regular thing in this sense, just to have a couple different channels, because with the whole politics of Google and YouTube and everything, it's not a bad idea to have a secondary channel in some sense, because apparently if you have a channel that gets a strike against it, your other channel may still be up. They may not just pull your whole account or anything at this point, but right now we're on a 6-month lockout type deal from doing live streams on the BIGGUNNER81 channel just over that whole bonfire stock video. They do a whole 3 strikes you're out thing. So keep in mind, when you have a gun channel or any YouTube channel, if you post something that breaks their community guidelines, and apparently they felt that me showing how to assemble a bonfire stock was something that violated those guidelines. It wasn't anything dangerous, it was educational and so forth, blah, blah, blah.
All the guidelines change, obviously.
They do. The guidelines do change.
Politics and current events.
Exactly. Part of it is people maybe didn't report it, and now all of a sudden people are super sensitive. They're reporting all the gun videos they can, and they get reviewed by somebody, hopefully by somebody, I don't know. I think at first they just automatically strike against it, or they get enough strikes on that video that they pull it. So they go ahead and they pull this video and put that strike on your account. They leave the video where you can see it for a couple days so you can review it, and then you can get a chance to appeal the decision, but then they automatically just pretty much said, no, it violated the guidelines. So if you do that enough times, they pull your whole channel. So that means any videos that you may not have a hard copy of, like in my case, I've got hard copies, or I say hard copies, I have a backup copy from all my original videos that I've done, with the exception of all the live videos, because I don't sit down and edit these, for the most part, unless there's a few in the past I've kind of chopped some pieces out of and whatnot. But generally, they're just unedited raw video that automatically gets uploaded onto the channel. So I don't have copies of all those. So, of course, if the channel got pulled today, we'd be missing all the original episodes of this show. That's the downside. Keep that in mind if you have any type of channel on YouTube that pretty much, if you don't have backups, they can pull the plug. Your videos can be gone forever. You don't get them back. They don't give you an option to download them. They're just gone. So, it's their playground. They own it. They can make the decisions on how they want to do it. People talk about freedom of speech and whatnot. It's a privately owned, entity that you're not paying to use. So you have to take all those things into consideration. So I guess one tip I'll also say is that, besides backup channels, look for backup sources for hosting, or different outlets. If you're trying to build a brand, whether it's, if it's something you're trying to build a brand through social media, and you're using like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, look for all those different options that are out there and use them. All, because if you just stick with just one, like if you're just strictly marketing through Facebook, you're not getting the full benefit of the whole aspect of reaching people. But also, if they decide to pull your Facebook page, your whole entity online is gone. So that's my words of wisdom when it comes to social media and so forth, especially for gun channels. And go ahead and wrap things up tonight. Appreciate y'all watching. Thank you for the support. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors like Spencer Precision, Eggleston Munitions, Applied Arsenal Finishes Gunworks, Trace Armory Group, and so forth. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching. And until next time, as always, have fun shooting.